Buongiorno and welcome to episode 76 of Regen Rovers, where today it is the end of the 8th season. I'm doing a season review once again, and once again it was another very successful season. In fact, we managed to win League 2. Wow. I can't quite believe we're up to the end of the 8th season. I can't quite believe we're into League 1. We're into the third tier of English football already. That is sensational. We've put together a team that just seemed to be gelling brilliantly. A lot of these players have been playing together for many years now. And they've carried us from the National League South all the way up to League 1 now in 8 seasons. It really is a magnificent achievement. This was the final standings then. Top of the table by 5 points. 5 ahead of Shrewsbury in the end. We finished 11 points ahead of third place Accrington Stanley. And 14 points ahead of fourth place Doncaster Rovers, who've qualified for the playoffs. Along with Crawley Town, Stockport and Wimbledon. We're going to be holidaying a couple weeks in this video just to see how they get on. Cheltenham and Oldham were the two teams that were relegated from League 2. And looking at the player stats, we've got a few players featuring on this. Danny Bye, 4th best average rating in the league this season with 7.24. He also won the joint 6th most player of the matches. Greg Cross, the unfortunate accolade of being joint first in the yellow card rankings. He was I do think we need to improve the left back situation next season. I will be going through the team and just deciding which players we do need to improve. You can see Guillermo Diaz and Sevzelis were involved in 80 of our goals this season. I assume that's every single goal. So when they were on the pitch, wait, let's double check this. 80 league goals he scored. That is incredibly impressive, especially for Diaz. Of course, Sevzelis played every game, but for Diaz to be on the pitch for every single goal, he didn't start every game. He's missed a couple towards the end of the season, so it just shows how important he was. He didn't necessarily pick up as many assists as I thought he would this year, but he was involved. He was on the pitch whenever we scored a league goal this season. Craig Palmer as well on there, 78 goals. That's very impressive considering how choppy and changey I am with the strikers. So we'll have a look at the squad first to see who was top goal scorer. As you can see, Larry Udder, top goal scorer, 16 goals. He got injured. He's still going to be injured for another month, up to another month. So pre-season is going to be incredibly important for him to try and get back to full fitness and get back up to the standard that he was before. He's just had 2 severe injuries that have in total kept him out for over a year if he had them up. So that's really unfortunate for him. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. Craig Palmer though, 15 goals this season, and considering he got 21 assists, he was involved in a hell of a lot of goals for us this year. The only other player to get over 10 goals this season was Spencer Drury, 13 goals in 21 starts and 20 sub appearances. Craig Palmer was the main man up front this year. He started most of the games. It was that position where Spencer Drury plays that I'm still not 100% sure if he's up to the standard required to be our main poacher. Maybe I should look for someone else. He's always improving though. Off the ball's up to 15 now, finishing's up to 13, composure's up to 14. Hopefully he won't miss as many one-on-ones. He's our paciest striker as well. He's got some good acceleration, good pace. He's a quality poacher and he looks to be improving all the time. So perhaps one day he will be a bit more consistent for us. Rest of the team, the goals really were shared around. There wasn't that many players that didn't score this season. You can see 9 each for Dibber and Orford. Orford this season was disappointing compared to last year, let's be fair. But once again, a little bit injury prone. He had a bad injury in pre-season which hindered his progress, I guess, after a sensational season last year. He's still a very important striker for us though, I do believe. And Joe Mohammed had a great start to the season and drifted off during the middle of the season. He's a good player. He's still only 21. He can improve. Whether he'll be good enough for League 1, I don't think so. But he'll be staying at the club for another season, I think. In fact, he's got another 2 years on his contract. There's not many players that have their contracts running out, actually. Let's just check in a second. Brady Chick got 6 goals as well. So he was an important player for us. He only started 5 games. Another sort of injury-prone striker that we have. But he scores crucial goals, doesn't he? You can see the players' contracts are expiring. Well, these four: Berry, Warren, Alex Hall and Black. I don't know what to do about Alex Hall. I want to find a really top quality goalkeeper. I don't think he's ever going to be the standard we require, so I might as well let him go. Stuart Warren, I'm going to let him go, I think. I want to find a really good left back. Bradley Berry, he scores goals for us, especially in the under-23s, but he scored 3 goals in the first team this year in only 8 appearances. So I kind of feel I should give him another year. Just keep rolling his year contract on, because he's a backup striker, but when he plays, he can be very, very crucial for us. Sean Black's contract is going out as well, but he's on loan at Kidderminster, and he's not been great, I must say. So I don't know. He's only been here a year, and in that year he's been on loan. So I don't know. I'll have to make a decision, I guess. Value-wise, Craig Palmer's our most valuable player. Then it's Danny By, Lee Orford, Dibbert. There's no surprises there. Moving on to some more statistics then. Assists-wise, Craig Palmer was the only player to get over 10 assists. And he picked up 21. That is... I have no words for that, because that is unbelievably good. Considering the next best player was Mohamed, who picked up 8, and Stephen Dean and Orford, they both picked up 8 as well. So the other assists were shared around, but Craig Palmer was greedy. He set up the majority of our goals, well, not the majority, he set up about a quarter of our goals this season, because we scored 80 goals in the league, and there's obviously a few other goals in the cup competitions. But to be that far ahead of the next best player is just brilliant. Man of the match wise, like I said, Danny By was top. Then it was Palmer, Walker and Dibbert. Walker was very important for us this year as well. But in the comment section below, let me know who was your player of the season. Is it Craig Palmer because of those assists and goals? Or maybe Larry Udder because of a brilliant start to this season, and it was unfortunate he got injured in January. Or maybe Danny By and Reece Walker for their solid defensive performances. When they were both together, we were very good defensively. If one of them or both of them were missing, we were atrocious. Average rating wise, Danny By is top, but not that far ahead of Reece Walker, who was definitely had his most impressive season in a Regen Rovers shirt. He's now 22 years old, and he's really, I mean, this season has been a big one for him. He's come of age essentially after 3 seasons where he played pretty much every game for us, but never really picked up amazing average ratings. This season he got a couple goals in the cup as well, but he's only ever scored 1 league goal for us, but he scored a couple goals in the cup, a couple man of the match performances in the league, 4 in total this season. Really, really good stuff from him. Larry Udder was next, 7.11, just ahead of Craig Palmer, so he actually got a slightly better average rating than Mr. Palmer, who was very impressive. You can see Ollie Barber did okay out on loan as well. Although is that... oh, I don't know. Let's have a look. That might be his average rating for us. It's definitely not his average rating for us, because that wasn't good. But in the National League for York City, put in some good performances towards the end of the season. I just sent him out on loan for the last 5 or so weeks of the season. He's done very well. Patrick Dibber in midfield was brilliant. It was great to see him get 9 goals. Don't think we've seen one of our midfielders score more than 9 goals in a season, so well done to Patrick Dibber. 4 assists as well, and 4 man of the match awards for him, and a good average rating. Bradley Berry, good average rating when he played. Christian Marlowe as well, and Orford towards the end of the season was pretty decent. Stephen Dean, I was pretty pleased with him at right back. I think he'll be our main right back next season. Don't see any need to improve upon him. And Guillermo Diaz, I liked him. He had a great start to the season. Towards the end, I think he just got a little bit tired because he played so many games for us. But I love his attributes. 17 on passing, 15 on vision, and playing as a deep-lying playmaker, he does well for us. He's often the person assisting the assist, and he picked up 3 goals as well. A couple of them were crackers, and 5 assists as well in the league. So he did pretty decent. Only 4 yellow cards as well, not bad for a midfielder. Disappointing displays this season, I would say Lee Zelis. He was alright at times, he was solid, but there were a few mistakes trickling in this season, and that's why I've mentioned maybe I need a better goalkeeper. It could be the game's fault. I know some of you are saying it's the game's fault for some of his mistakes towards the end of the season. He's 24 years old now. He's getting towards that stage where he's going to be going into his prime, although a goalkeeper's career can go on for a long time, remember. But maybe it's time for him to be back up, or perhaps I'm being harsh and I should give him another chance next season. I'll see who's in the market. If I can find a really good regen goalkeeper, of course, remember, everyone has to be a regen. Some people sometimes put a real player in the comment section below for me to sign, and I think you just forget the rules briefly. But yeah, we have to sign regen players, remember. So all the goalkeepers are going to be 25 or under. Whether I can find a better one than Lisa Zelis that will want to play for us remains to be seen. So we'll have a look in the transfer market, but you can see every season has been just above a 7, which is very impressive for a goalkeeper, especially on FM17 where it's been riddled with bugs. To be honest, the goalkeeping's been a little bit dodgy, but this season suddenly dropped down. 6.89 overall, 6.87 in the league. Not the best. But the most important thing is we got promoted to League 1. Convincingly in the end, with a 5-1 win to round it off against Bury, of course. I was absolutely delighted, and you can see you guys, the fans, you're ecstatic, as you should be. How long's left on my contract actually? I could request a new contract for this achievement. Let's have a look, because if it's short, that's not good. It's ending next year, so I think it's time for another contract. You can see I've now got I think I put it on Twitter, an A license, Continental A license. So I would like to go for the next one, which is the last one you can do, the Pro license. But no, financially we can't afford it. We'll have a look at the finance in a second. It's not good. But we've got promoted, so hopefully that will rectify the situation. I certainly have improved as a coach over the years. And you can see now I've played 408 games, or managed 408 games, with won 161, drawn 149 and lost 98. Goal difference is much more pleasing to look at now. 600 against 530. 39% win percentage. We do draw a lot of games, and that's the reason why it's not as high, I suppose. And my reputation's definitely gone up to 2.5 stars now, which is great. But I'm going to request a new contract. Oh, there we go. That was easy. So they're happy to give me money. And Danny By has praised me. I'm blushing, Danny. Iconic Holden Warren Bills Regen Rovers legacy. This is too much. It's too much. Keep it coming though. I don't mind. I do like Patrick Debris. He's turned into a superb player for us. We've managed to get 26.85k for finishing fifth. It's not a huge amount, and you can see financially we're in the red by quite a lot, but I do have a big transfer budget. If I don't spend that, then maybe the club will just absorb the money. If I do spend it, then the finances will actually go further down, because that's not money we really have. We have minus figures, and if I spend it, it will go down even lower. But it's a risk you sometimes have to take, I guess. The finances on FM17, I know people have discussed it in podcasts, they are a little bit screwed, because there are people out there that are saving money, not spending money at all, and it's still in the red despite... I don't know. I think the biggest thing is ground maintenance. That seems to hit every season. I'm going to have this massive ground maintenance bill, and I'm going to be even worse off. And I don't know how the game calculates what the ground maintenance is. It would be nice to know the details surrounding that, because we've been a bit screwed over. Anyway, I'm going to have a contract soon. Someone did ask me, how is Mohamed Garba getting on? He's actually in the under-23s for Brentford, which isn't good. Because remember, we've got this amazing deal where if they sell him on, I get half the money. But he didn't play a single league game in the Championship for Brentford. He played in the under-23s, did okay, couple goals, 1 assist, and he played a couple cup games for the first team, but he got an atrocious average rating. So, what's going to happen? I was thinking maybe I could loan him back. Try and turn him into a really good player, and then Brentford might sell him on. Because at this rate, he's not going to be sold for much money. He might even be released on a free, which will just cancel out the contract. In fact, he's only got 1 more year on his contract. I suppose I could try and buy him back even. But how much would they want for him? Like if I offered just... Oh, they'd want a lot of money. So he could possibly be sold for that much if someone comes in for him. But he's actually injured until late July anyway. So... it's not going particularly well for him or for us, but we still got a lot of money from him in the first place. If it doesn't end up being fruitful in the future, it's not the end of the world. Here we go. This is what you guys want to see. The overall best 11. How has it changed in the last season, I guess? So Spencer Drew, I don't think he was up front before, but he's alongside Jack Young. Maybe he was up front last season. So it's still got this old formation with only 2 up front. Sivzelis, Walker, Bayern, Lofts. So those are our 3. That makes sense. Reece Walker's now made 200 appearances for the club. Danny By 237 and Lofts 212. Lee Sivzelis has made the most appearances for Regen Rovers. So then knock him out the team and replace him would be a little bit harsh at this stage. His average rating is good as well. Danny Bai has actually made the second highest. He's one ahead of Jack Young now. But Jack Young, I think, is still holding the league appearance record. He's clinging on to that by a couple of appearances. He's also still our top goal scorer ever. He's quite far ahead, to be honest, in that regard. He's 31 ahead of Spencer Drury. Craig Palmer's got 43 goals now. He's moved on to the bench. Dion Mills is still on the bench. He did retire at the age of 23. But the rest of the team, apart from Grant Waugh, I think, are all still at the club. We've still got Gareth Sheriff in the under-23s, but there's going to be a few players leaving the club in the summer. End of season awards then. Danny Bai, the clear winner, 74%. Reece Walker 10% and Patrick Dibber 9%. That is, the game loves Danny Bai. He is a club icon. Oh, actually, let's have a look. Is he an icon now? I'm an icon for getting promoted. That is brilliant. But he's still only on the favoured personnel, along with the other two players that have managed to win Player of the Season award, Jack Young and Orford. I think Bai's won it about 5 times now. 4 or 5 times. Not 100% sure on the exact figure. Orford won it last year. Jack Young won it the first couple of years. You can see, though, Reece Walker is apparently our key player, and Ollie Barber is our hot prospect. But that's interesting that he's won it by such a clear margin. Now, goal of the season, I thought it would be Paddy Murray, but it's Christian Marlowe, so let's have a look. Oh, I remember this one. I'm not surprised this one's won, actually. This was a cracking strike. Came from a corner. Palmer all the way back to Marlowe. This is in slow motion, and he just slammed it home into the bottom right-hand corner from way outside the box. It was a great goal. I guess that deserved to win goal of the season. What was the goalkeeper doing there? That was really weird. Diaz was the signing of the season, and young player of the season, it still goes to Danny Bai. I don't know how old you have to be to not be regarded as a young player now. It might be 24. But you can see best 11 this year. It's our 4-3-3 formation, of course. Sivzelis, Dean, Bai, Walker and Cross. No surprises there. Marlowe, Dibber and Diaz in the middle. No surprises there either. And Udder, Palmer and Orford up front. So Orford manages to get the nod ahead of Spencer Drury. Probably because of the average rating. And this is our season review. I like reading this because it's always nice. All of Regen Rovers' dreams came true this season as they defied expectations, suggesting that they would be relegation certainties, and instead mounted an almost unbelievable title-winning campaign. That's Regen Rovers for you all over. We're going to be predicted to finish bottom next season, of course, but I'm confident we can survive and finish mid-table. And I've said to the team, we can avoid the drop. And everyone's happy, actually, so that's good news. And the board are pleased and putting a smile on the face of every single supporter. Well, that's nice. This was our season injury report. You get this. I wish you could see this manually throughout the season. You have to wait till the end of the season for this sort of thing. But you can see all the injuries this season. Larry Udder. That's going to be more than 4 months in the end. Quite a few injuries, but that's pretty normal, isn't it? And here's my new contract. I'll reduce it to 750, but what I want is a longer contract. 2027, please. They don't want to give me a longer contract. I'm happy to have a long contract. Why not? Why don't you want to give me a long... There we go. Reduce it to 725. 2027. Finalised deal. Boom. And there we go. I've signed. Looking at the squad then, the positions I feel we need to improve. Possibly goalkeeper. If Alex Hall leaves, then I need to get a goalkeeper anyway, regardless of whether it's an improvement on Sivzelis or a backup for Sivzelis, or competition for Sivzelis even. I do believe maybe another centre-back, because Walker and Bai are brilliant for us. They're so solid. Charlie Lofts is alright. He does an okay job. He got 6.94 average rating. But if those three or one of them's missing, it really is a problem. We've tried JJ in there. We've tried Chris Holmes in there, and they're just not up to this standard. So I might need to find someone else. Left back, I'm going to probably release Stuart Warren, or keep Greg Cross as the backup and find an improvement on him to be our main left back. Right back, I'm happy with Stephen Dean as our main right back. He's got some assists, and Tim Green is a decent backup option. He's obviously been around the club a long time now, making a lot of appearances, over 100 appearances if you include the cup competitions. And some very important assists for us as well. Legendary assists, in fact. So he's a good backup. So I don't think we need to improve right back. Central midfield, maybe I could do with a really top quality central ball-winning midfielder. Because Marlowe isn't really a natural in that position. He does a decent job there. And he's he's been a good servant for us over the years. Kevin Miguel, although that's his preferred role, he's only got 7 on tackling, so I don't really feel comfortable playing him as a ball-winning midfielder. He's still young, he's still got time to develop. I don't know what his best position is, that's his problem, or his best role. I brought Paddy Murray in to be our main man in the middle, but he's not done it for us. He's got 9 on tackling, which isn't that great. Bravery's good, but I'm not particularly happy about him being our main ball-winning midfielder. And he's not impressed in his first year and a half at the club. Last season, when he joined in January, not a great average rating, and this year, not a great average rating. He scored an incredible goal, but that's it. So, and he missed a penalty, remember. I do feel I need a better ball-winning midfielder in the centre. Other than that, I mean, I think I'll stick with the same tactic. There's no reason to change it. Up front, if I can find a really, really top-quality poacher to go alongside Uda and Craig Palmer, and someone better than Spencer Drury and what we have, then that would be great. Because all of my strikers, they're quite similar. They're all good, but not spectacular. Craig Palmer's had a cracking season, but if we can find someone that can guarantee us 20 goals a season in League One, that would be very handy indeed. Larry Uda is back. He's starting his rehabilitation works. That's pleasing. I've scouted this guy, Shaquille McKenzie. He's a good all-round striker, but there's certain attributes. I mean, he'd be our best striker, apparently, according to my chief scout. But finishing 11, composure 11, off the ball 11, not amazing. I think it's all-round game that he's good at. But then it does say he's a poacher. I'd rather play Spencer Drury than this guy, though. I'd say Spencer Drury's better. I suppose it's just his overall game is slightly better. There are players in the under-23s I could perhaps put my faith in a bit more. Arthur Owusu, of course, very impressive in the under-23s. Showed the under-23s in the last episode, but Jack Young, sensational this year for the under-23s, but the first team only got 1 goal, but that 1 goal is crucial because it keeps his goal-scoring run every season for the team running, and I want that to continue as long as possible. But goals galore for the under-23s, lots of assists as well from some of our players. So there are options. I don't think there's anyone in this team that's going to be a superstar in the future, and certainly no one in the under-18s is up to the standard required. This is our end of season commercial summary, so certain things are up, like main kit sponsor and overall sponsorship, but other things are down. Next year though, we'll be in League One, surely things will improve. I'm kind of resigned to the fact that we're never going to have a good youth academy. It will take years and years and years for it to happen, and by the point we've actually built it up, it might be the end of the series. Although if we get to the Premier League, surely money-wise we can just improve it immeasurably overnight. Although I very much doubt it can just be you go from a very poor youth academy to a superb one. You have to build it up gradually year upon year rather than just paying tons of money to improve it straight away. As you can see, Man City have just won the FA Cup final, thrashing Southampton. A couple of people have suggested I do just an extra video at the end of the season to have a look at the world, the parallel universe of Regen Rovers, what's been going on in the rest of the world so far, top transfers, who's won the World Cup, European Championships, Champions Leagues, etc. I think that's a sensible thing to do. So there's going to be a special video. It's not going to be episode 77, it's just going to be a special extra video where we'll go into a little bit more detail surrounding the Regen Rovers parallel universe, essentially, because we've looked at a few things but nothing in great detail because we've just been focusing on ourselves. We've not been focusing on who does Lionel Messi manage now, as he's probably retired from football. You see the odd thing like this every now and then, but you probably want to get some context behind it. So I will have a look. It'll just be a rambly little video where I just have a look behind the scenes at a few things. But this is something we really do want to focus on. Playoff final between Doncaster Rovers and Crawley Town, so we can see who's going up with us. It's Doncaster Rovers. There we go. So this is the final standings. It's the top 4 that go up. Deservedly so, I guess. I don't know if the other ones have been finished. It hasn't. But you can see Rochdale, Leyton Orient, Stevenage and Bristol Rovers relegated to League 2. Barnsley, Preston, Exeter City and Aston Villa possibly going up. Now, we probably want Aston Villa to win that. Let's see when this is, because I might as well continue actually until the end of the League One final, so we can just see who we're going to face next season in League One. You can see we've had to pay a lot of money out to the squad because of bonuses and things. Although, look, overall finances are healthy because we've received 525k for participating in League 2. That's good. Good news. But the ground maintenance, that's going to kick in. At the moment, it's only £3,512, but I think it's going to be a hell of a lot once again. Goal of the season, Christian Marlowe got second place behind Joe Page. We'll have a look at him. I'll scout him. He looks decent, actually. And I've won manager of the season. I mean, that's deserved, isn't it? 52% win ratio, 80 goals scored, 57 conceded. Good stuff. And players team of the year, Danny Bye at the back and Craig Palmer named in midfield, even though he's never played in midfield for me, I don't think. He's a striker, he's not a midfielder. He can play midfield, but you wouldn't play him there. I'm not going to holiday till the playoff final, actually, because it's in a few days' time. I don't know why it's so far in the future, because it's meant to be on the 26th, according to the schedule. But on here, it's got the 4th of June. So we'll have a look at that in the extra video, or if you don't watch that, you'll see who we're taking on in League 1 at the start of next season. But I think we'll end it there. Thank you for watching today's review. Please smash that like button. Let me know who was your player of the season in the comment section below. Episode 77 will be the start of our first ever League 1 campaign. So I hope you're looking forward to that. Keep your eyes out for that extra video I was just talking to you about if you're interested in looking at what's going on in the world of Regen Rovers behind the scenes. I will see you in the next episode.